One of web designers' biggest complaints over the years has been the lack of choice of fonts. Browsers use the fonts installed on the user's computer, restricting you to using common fonts such as Arial, Helvetica and Verdana. To use a more exotic or aesthetic font, up to now it's been necessary to embed them in images or use various image replacement techniques. Thankfully, the situation is changing, but it's not all plain sailing. The obstacles to a wider choice of fonts on the web have a complex background. In fact, web fonts have been supported by Internet Explorer since version 4 in 1997. But the problem was that Microsoft used a proprietary font format, so other browser vendors couldn't use it. They rely heavily on income from licensing, and they didn't want their fonts to be available free on the Internet where everybody could download them. Many fonts are now licensed for use in web pages. Instead of storing the fonts on your website, they're located on the hosting service's content distribution network. And also, there are many free web fonts now available. Although the situation has improved, a real problem is that there are multiple formats of web fonts. Internet Explorer uses embedded open type. This is a proprietary standard that other browser makers can't use. Firefox, Opera, Safari and Chrome support TrueType and OpenType. On the iPhone and iPad, they use Scalable Vector Graphics (SVG). Finally, there's the Web Open Font Format. This is a W3C standard and it's supported by Internet Explorer 9 and all other browsers except Safari, so if Safari comes on board, it looks as though it is the way to go in the future. But unfortunately at the moment you need to support many different formats if your website is to be seen by people using different browsers. But don't despair. Help is at hand through useful websites such as Font Squirrel. Font Squirrel is perhaps the best known source of web fonts that are free for commercial use. I've selected a font called Nobile on the Font Squirrel website. Each font has a different type of license and it's important to know exactly how you can use it and where you can use it. The other very useful thing on Font Squirrel is they create what are called @font face kits. What a font face kit does is it gives you all the necessary formats and also a style sheet to go with them. So click that link and download the font face kit. I've already downloaded it and unzipped the files to a folder called Fonts. You can see that there are a lot of fonts in there, and at the bottom there is a style sheet. Let's just quickly open that. Inside the style sheet are several @font face rules. What this does is it declares a font family called Nobile Regular and then gives the source files for each type. This is the EOT type for Internet Explorer. This defines the source for Internet Explorer for older versions of Internet Explorer, and the remaining definitions define the sources for Internet Explorer 9 and later, and for all the other web browsers that recognize fonts. So to embed fonts in a web page, you need to import the style sheet from the Font Squirrel Font Face Kit. So let's go into the style sheet for this page here, and I'm going to create an @import rule. Right-click, Code Hint Tools, and URL Browser. And I'll browse to my fonts folder, and I need to find that style sheet CSS. Click OK, close the parenthesis and a semicolon. Just save the style sheet, and you can now see in the Related Files toolbar that the style sheet has been imported. And what I need to do is to use that font family, Nobile Regular, in my own style sheet. So my font family at the moment says Lucida Sans Unicode, Lucida Grande, etc. So I just add, what was it again? Make sure we get the right one, Nobile Regular. Copy it and paste it, put in a little comma there, and save my style sheet. And if I go into Live View, you'll see that the font has now changed. Exit Live View. So toggle Live View on and off, and you can see the difference in the font. and it's as easy as that to embed fonts in a website. Using @FontFace can lift the look of your website, but it's important to remember that each web font that you use increases the size of the download for each visitor. This can significantly slow down your site, particularly for mobile users. Don't go wild and use them everywhere, but judicious use of web fonts can help make your site stand out from the Arial and Helvetica crowd.